Good afternoon. This is Jason Moss of Georgia Manufacturing Alliance and Manufacturing News Network. It is June 18th, and we're excited to be on the call for the task force, the retooling task force. We're going to be talking a little bit about what's going on in the space as far as manufacturing and getting folks back to work. Today is going to be a very casual day. It's very light topics today. We're going to try to keep it fun and exciting and talk about real positive stuff that's out there on the planet. And with that being said, I think everybody pretty well, I think most everybody knows the majority of the folks on here. And what we're going to do is just go around the room. Everybody just sort of announce who they are, what you do, and what your goal for today and for today's call would be. What would you like to get from today? I'm going to open it up with Miss Michelle Murphy. Talk to us, girl. I have seen you just a minute ago, as a matter of fact, and am very impressed with what I saw. You knocked it out of the park. You guys are going to see this after a while, but just so you know,
are you
a rock star.
Are you going to show it on the end of this call?
I might just
do
it. I figure out how to do it.
I'm sure you can do it under share screen, but anyway. No, the last one that I finally submitted, I did not review it again because I found something wrong with every single one of them. The hardest part was to get all the information in there with 50 seconds.
Yeah.
With that, with everything. But I'm glad that it was acceptable for you because, yeah.
You're our leadoff hitter, and we'll share a little bit about that in a minute. But tell us for those that Seth. Sean, do you know? Have you and Michelle met yet? Are you familiar with the rest of the crew? If not,
no, I saw a new face up there. So, yeah. Sean, no.
No, and I apologize. I didn't keep the camera on. My 9.5-month-old, who you might hear in the background, has decided that he's gotten too big for afternoon naps. Apparently today, unilateral decision.
Right.
We're tooling going on here, but no.
I think many of us on here would just trade with him.
Yeah,
I could use a nap.
I'm like, I will jump in there but yeah, we'll pay for it tonight.
Oh yeah. Cool. Well, Michelle, introduce who you are, what you do, and what's your target for the day, goal for the day. If this is to be a successful call, what does that look like?
Well, I'm Michelle Murphy. I'm Benefit Resources. We're in Brazelton. We specialize in group benefits insurance for manufacturing and related businesses. Straight from the script I wrote earlier. We just champion for the employees so that, especially with everything going on now, we can advocate for your employees so that HR and leadership can keep running their companies and not have to worry about the ever-changing things with healthcare and things like that. I have been so busy the past couple of days just with new quotes, and regardless of what people think, not everyone's open enrollment is January 1st. If you're not happy with your coverage that you have and you're in a place to change or to at least just get more information, you can do that just about any time of year. Yeah, it's work, but if your benefits are not fitting your needs, then we can help make that transition a lot easier. As far as what I'm looking to get on the call, just finding out how people are rolling out and rolling into the new, and honestly, not to push this in a political direction, because I know, how everybody feels about that, but just how people feel being inside the perimeter right now. Mm-hmm. If anybody is, and just going down there right now, knowing that, safety could be an issue
right
at the moment. So
interesting. Hopefully we'll keep it all squared away and happily in our Zoom spots. All right. I'll open this up to thank you, Michelle. You did a fantastic job. And Andrea, tell us who you are, what you do, how you connected, and what you're hoping for out of this call. All in one breath.
In one breath. I'm Andrea Davidson. I work for a company called Spear Tech. We build and design websites for B2B businesses, manufacturers, distributors, with specialized pricing, customization. We do integration with accounting systems, all kinds of things like that, which should be what a lot of people are looking for to get everything online nowadays, just because trade shows aren't happening and person-to-person sales aren't happening. I guess I look for on the calls like this is just other ideas that people are doing and saying, and different avenues that every time I get on the call, somebody says something and I go, oh, I forgot to call that person, or, oh, that's a great avenue that I can go down. So, it's always good to get in front of like people and, remember different things that I need to, add on to what I'm already doing.
Perfect.
And Michelle, we are downtown. We are, our office is about a mile away from the stadium. And everything's fine down here. I mean, as far as, I think you just have to be aware at night more than anything. But we're not on the best part of town, but I've not been worried about driving down here or getting here or any of that.
Okay.
So
Good.
That's good to know. You keep your eyes open and stay
Yep.
safe. That's what we all got to do, right?
Yep.
Plan. No doubt. No doubt. All right, Mr. Sean, you've probably done this a bazillion times, but and if your 9-month-old wants to help you, I am all about that. So if you need any assistance, feel free to let him chime in. We're all good with that.
Well, I'm just glad that you might hear giggles instead of the 15 minutes ago crying. So he's gotten quite adept at these type of calls, and this is the whole homeschooling.
Right.
We start them early here.
Right.
But so I work with Bank of America. I'm a senior relationship manager on the business banking team. So focus on companies from  to 50 million, sometimes up.
Okay.
I specifically have been recently tasked with, we have also, even though we're generalists, have specializations.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of my specializations is the manufacturing space.
Okay.
So while I'm not the only one that will be focusing on manufacturing, and that's not the only thing I'll be doing, that is kind of one of my areas of interest in. And so I want to continue to focus on it, learn as much as I can, stay up to date on what's going on so I can add value for my clients. The other areas I do focus on as well as technology. So there's some nice synergies there, and then a little bit of distribution and transportation, but more manufacturing and technology are two of my focuses.
Okay. Where are you based out of? Where's your home?
So right now, East Cobb.
Okay.
So we, and it's interesting, we just got off a call, and the head of business banking for Bank of America said, there's no determination right now about stay at home, but for the foreseeable future, at least for business banking, I heard him, I don't know if he meant to say this, could be first to second quarter of next year, because we've all kind of demonstrated that we can be effective. And he kind of talked about what going into the office would look like for most of us. And he said the benefits just don't seem to be there. 2 people in an elevator, not a lot of food available, food service, wearing a mask, no face-to-face meetings. So it becomes, well, why? So we are based in the Bank of America Plaza for now. Mm-hmm. We were technically supposed to move in June to Buckhead, to the Pinnacle. That was pushed to August, but now it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if that actually happens. And I'm get the benefit of seeing my 9-month-old much more than I would. So,
dude, that's awesome. I bet you are eating that up. That's fun.
I love it. I try to find the silver lining in all of this. And that has been one of the best blessings. this to be able to work at home, have him. Because my wife goes in 3 days a week, so yeah.
Cool, man. That's cool. Well, we're glad you're able to join us, and he was too. What's his name?
Carter.
Carter.
Yep, Carter James.
That's cool. That's cool.
He's a banker in training. If the soccer career and the music career doesn't stick.
Right. We'll have him host one of our upcoming events. How about that?
Yeah.
Love on them a bunch because they grow fast. I got one almost finished college in about that long.
Well, so congratulations, but it does feel like it goes way too fast.
Yeah. Well, just enjoy every minute. Well, cool. Well, dude, we're really glad to have you online with us, and hope you enjoy getting connected with some of these folks.
Yeah, and looking forward to this as well as a lot of future events too. So appreciate you this.
Well, and Andrea mentioned something about not doing any trade shows, but we are full tilt boogie, man, on the summit. September 25th. September 15th. We're the 25th, Lord. September the 15th. My mind was going faster than no, my mouth was going faster than my mind. September the 15th at the Cobb Galleria. We're expecting to have a huge show there. Things are really rocking, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But trade shows, the good ones are still on. I'll just tell you.
Excellent.
The one I'm worried about. And speaking of trade shows, this is a trade show master, Ms. Koki Eaker. Tell us what's going on in your space, girl. Tell us who you are, what you do, how you connected, and what a win for this call would be. Oh, we got audio.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, I know my typing disturbs the calls. No, so I connected with GMA. We know Jason through a LinkedIn course. And when I was sitting at home because events were not happening, and when COVID hit, I called Jason and said, can I listen in? And he said, of course. And then I became the unofficial scribe. So that's cool. I learned a lot in these calls. Because I'm the scribe, so I'm on every call, and it's been great seeing everybody go through the motions of the anxiety of COVID, what to do, to coming up with solutions, PPE, and now retooling, relaunching. But what I'm seeing in, and so I connected because of GMA basically with a friend of mine, Tina Weed from Peerless Performance, who does employee engagements and OSHA compliant incentive programs. So I'm helping her out right now, and I've seen some great posts on LinkedIn talking about retooling and relaunching of companies, especially in today's world with all the protests. Talking more about employee engagement and the disparity between management and employees, and how to get the core values back in line. So that's been really interesting. So I'm focusing on that a little bit more right now.
Yeah, that's cool. It's a great perspective. I tell you, the more we talk about company culture, it's a different dynamic when it's not live. I mean, there is a company culture that you can create in this space we have found, and it's a different deal. And hopefully some of that real world stuff translates pretty well to the digital, but there's a lot lost in the translation, in my opinion. And I'm ready to get back into doing a bunch of live stuff. So
yeah, as management, you really need to make sure you're connected with your employees, especially like Sean says, even if it's going to be Q1 or Q2 before you get back in the office. We're all sick and tired of Zoom calls. No pun intended here, but so it's important for management to, like what you're doing, Jason. You're really doing a great job keeping in touch with your members.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's what we're supposed to do, right? Is love on folks as much as you can, any way that you can. And this is the way we're getting to do it now. All right, thank you so much, Koki. Mr. Roger, tell us what's going on in your world, brother.
Well, I spent yesterday downtown, rode MARTA to the Capitol building.
Interesting.
So a number of people were wearing masks, but a number weren't. At the Capitol building, masks were enforced. So So I was there lobbying on a bill that's pending before them.
Yeah.
So
Sweet.
so
I mean, was it pretty casual, pretty typical of what you've experienced at the Capitol before?
no, I was there as a potential witness, and they evidently didn't know I was in the hallway. They had a sign-in sheet for witnesses,
Okay.
but they didn't share the sign-in sheet with the chairman.
Well then.
So it's like, well, yeah. So I'm not totally pleased with the procedure they had. Seating in the hearing room was very, very limited.
Mhm.
So one witness at a time, and then only the members and a few staff people. That was it.
Right.
The some of the members had to be absent because they had to go get tested for COVID because they had people on their staff who were positive, and so a lot of confusion. The legislature is slowing down. They've done a spread out for the House,
Okay.
so they're not all at their desk. They are distributed about the room, including the gallery, so the gallery is closed to spectators. And they're doing all their votes by voice roll call. So that means each vote takes 10 minutes.
Wow.
So if you really wanted to be unpopular with the body, you start raising procedural parliamentary issues, each one requiring a vote. And they're on day 33 now out of 40.
Right.
So they're rapidly running out of time. They're trying to pass many bills. The primary thing they have to do is pass the budget.
Mm-hmm.
And they are probably going to not have time on the schedule for everything that's come out of committees.
Right.
Visitor seating around the Capitol has many of the chairs are taped off.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go visit one of the representatives or senators' offices, you have to have an appointment.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can stand outside the door and use your cell phone and call. Right.
Genius.
Yeah. So they're trying to keep going, but
Right. Yeah. If they can pull the budget off, man, I'm gonna be impressed. I mean, they've done some pretty good stuff in the past, but if that's their deal. That's mandatory. If nothing else gets done, the budget's got to get pulled.
Well, they had a lot of work on the budget in the past, but it all got thrown away.
Right.
April had a $14 billion shortfall in revenue, and May was supposed to be worse. I haven't heard.
Mm-hmm.
And June is not going to be robust.
Right.
A lot of the revenue comes from gasoline taxes and sales taxes
Mm-hmm.
and income. And all of those are down.
Right. They'll be able to
What was that total number, Roger?
April was $14 billion shortfall in revenue.
And you said May
compared
numbers
to the
in?
year before.
Oh, sure. And are May numbers in yet?
May was supposed to be worse, and I've not heard of any May numbers.
Okay.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, no. It's,
Very cool. What were you hoping to get out of this call today?
Well, I'm hoping to hear other trends besides the Capitol. Oh, with the revenue shortfall, that's probably going to affect engineering projects that are funded by public agencies.
That hits in your pocket. Yep. In your
So the roadway work and the airport work and the infrastructure work, I would expect all of those to be stretched out.
Mm-hmm. Delayed a little bit. Interesting. That's an interesting perspective. Good stuff. Thanks, Roger. All right, Mr. Brian, tell us who you are, what you do, and what your.
well, everybody know. Yeah, I'm good friends with everybody here, except Sean. It's nice to meet you, Sean. And your son just thinks you talk to yourself. Don't worry about that. Because you're going to be doing that when you're like my age. He's going to be in college. Go, Dad, you're still talking to yourself.
Still, right.
Yeah. I've got a business here, a marketing technology company that works with manufacturers called Link Your Sales. We all put our names and contact information in the chat bar. Jason, I met Jason and he's asked me to help consult on trying to develop sponsorship with other companies. So we're putting together some really exciting marketing programs, some online advertising, awareness campaigns for the summit, memberships, sponsorships. I'm very encouraged by the folks I'm meeting. We've targeted about 175 companies in the state that have 500 or more employees. I'm not from Georgia, so I was surprised to find that there are 175 companies in the state that have 500 or more employees.
Now, those are manufacturing companies.
That's right, just manufacturing companies. There's some major brands down here, so I'm pretty excited. I'm an ad guy, a brand guy, and worked with large companies, and so I'm very excited to find those companies down here. That's about it. What am I trying to do? I mean, I live in Druid Hills with my partner, a pretty silly dog and a crazy cat in a yellow house. So we're on the northeast side of town.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
And these calls are good because we get a chance to kind of just explore what everyone's up to. And Koki is she's right. She is the scribe that takes care of keeping us all on track.
I got you. Sweet. Well, good deal. Well, I want to share with you guys, I'll share you a little insider. I am if you guys know me, I am an avid reader. I believe that I'm a pretty poor reader, but I read a lot. I'm slow. I don't know why God made me a slow reader, but I can listen fast. I can actually go to about 2 times speed on Audible, and most of it sticks. But I will share with you guys, this is a book that I am reading now, Mike Michalowicz. If you guys have not, if you're familiar with anybody familiar with Mike Michalowicz, raise your hand. Okay. So this is a writer downer. I want to share with you some insights on this guy's one of my favorite authors. And Fix This Next is a simple process of identifying the biggest challenges that businesses have, and finding the thing to fix in a logical order. So basically, the hierarchy of needs for humans, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, there's like 5 levels, right? So all of us have these basic levels. And what he's done is he's actually applied that to business. And this is the hierarchy of business needs, right? So it starts off with sales, profit, order, impact, and legacy. Those are let's see if you can see that. Yep. And I don't do stuff backwards well. But it talks about that, and basically there's 5 components of each of those levels, and you don't need to advance to the next level. There's no sense in spending a lot of time working on the legacy of your business if you don't have enough sales to keep the lights on, right? So, I mean, there's an order of things. I'm not the order kind of guy, and I'm very impressed when I find people that can lay it out in a way that resonates with me. But this is a fantastic book. The other one that pairs with it, how I got introduced into this whole series, is he wrote a book called Profit First. Anybody that's touching money ever in business or ever hopes to, Profit First is it did wonders for my engagement and relationship with money in business. And it's a solid foundation. I mean, so I would recommend read Fix This Next first, and then the second one, the follow-up book, is Profit First. I implemented about 2.5 years ago and completely changed the way that I relate to and deal with revenue and business. And as a result of some of the things that I learned, we took a really freaking killer trip to Italy, and we end up having a decent reserve to get us through some rough times that we're all getting to enjoy now. And none of that stuff would have been possible had I not implemented the strategies that I learned from Profit First. So those are two my favorite 2 books that I would encourage you to plug into. And with that, what I want to do is I'm digging into you guys. Tell me, I mean, you know, what are you reading? What are you engaged with? What's your favorite book of all time, or what are you studying now on that side of it? If you're up for sharing, what would you recommend that I need to put in my library? Please make it Audible friendly, because that's how I roll. What I'll do is I'll actually listen to it and then absorb it. Then I'll go read the book and get the book out and highlight it and go back through and, you know, do the exercises and look at the pictures. So that way I'm not distracted. But 4 days on a freaking beach, I wore out some good batteries in my phone. so it's all a win, right? All right, Andrew, what's your favorite? What, you got anything you'd recommend? Any thoughts around that? Or favorite fun movie? What kind of fun movie? What entertainment? What turns you crank in that space? I mean, I like
movies. I like adventures.
Yeah.
I like action. I like all that stuff. I love Ozark.
Ozark.
Yeah.
My son keeps leaning on me to go check that out, but I have not.
It's pretty wild and crazy, but I like that.
That's cool.
I was watching Bloodline lately, so because I can't find anything on TV. I don't know. Lately I've been trying to get just little bits and pieces, like go to TED Talk or.
I'm a huge TED fan. Yeah.
You know, and I can listen to that while I'm doing some work during the day. I try to do little bits so that I get a little bit each day, just in case I don't get to read, and some podcasts, some different things like that.
Cool. That's good stuff. I mean, using technology like that is great. I subscribe to YouTube, right? So I got the premium subscription to YouTube, and I'll go in there, and you can go in YouTube through. Of course, you can go directly into TED, do that as well, and pick a topic, and it'll just play them back to back. If you do the premium with YouTube, there's no commercials, and it'll just roll with whatever. I love getting into comedy, and there's some really insane stuff.
Yeah.
But find some of your favorite comedians and let that just go for a while. But yeah, cool, very cool. All right, Miss Michelle, any recommendations?
I don't do a whole lot of business reading. I do a lot of YouTube videos and that kind of stuff. There's a guy in sales called Mark Wayshak. I listen to him a lot.
Oh.
And one specifically, actually Greg Burkhalter recommended for me is David Duford. And he is specifically insurance sales and that kind of thing. However, there's a book that I've listened to. I'm an Audible person also, so easy to listen when you're going from one place to another. But it's called The 1 Minute Manager by Ken Blanchard, I believe.
Blanchard, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's a really easy read, and some of the stuff, it just makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
I read recently, I'm trying to find the name of it now. But it's by, it's a Christian book called, it's by John Gray. It's his newest one. I know I just read it. It's called Winning from Within, and it's called Finding Yourself by Facing Yourself.
Cool.
And it basically goes back to David in the Bible and talking about how all of the little things that he did prepared him for, kingship, playing the giant, all of that kind of stuff. But sometimes how we're hidden for a while to build up those skills to be out front. So, I like taking
what was the name
biblical. It's called Win from Within. And then it's the : Finding Yourself by Facing Yourself.
Okay. Sweet.
And the author actually reads it. I like that, especially if I hear the author speak. It's just weird to me to hear somebody different narrate it that's not the author of the book, but
that's cool. Yeah, Michalowicz he's interesting to listen to. He's not as fun to watch. Just I don't know why that is. It just but because I've seen some YouTube videos and I'm like, was not expecting that. But I have a face for radio too. But this kidney's a pretty dude. He's handsome. Yeah, just leave that alone. But yeah, I'll have to dig into that one for sure. Love it. Thank you, Miss Michelle. All right, Roger, what you kind of recommendations do you have, brother?
Well, the mention of the 1 Minute Manager, I read that back in the 80s. I was traveling with a tour to Europe, and my used paperback copy, the binder came apart, so I ended up passing sections around to everybody else in the area.
Huh.
And lots of us read the book simultaneously. So I think, if I recall right, part of his premise was managing by walking around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things that I got from that, just that relates to my own personality, is delegating, because I would just rather do it myself than give instructions on how to do it.
I think that book also advocated that salaries should not be secret.
He could have mentioned that. That wasn't necessarily one of my takeaways, but yeah. The biggest thing for me is everybody's got a specific job and they have it for a reason. And even though they communicate and you may oversee someone else, you give them the reins and let them go with it. Give them the tools that they need to do the job correctly. But, just because they're smart, and I mean, you want to lead people that are smarter than yourself. It makes you look even better. So.
My latest heavy read, oh boy, everybody here is going to want out and buy a copy, I can tell. NFPA, National Fire Prevention Association 79 code. It has to do with machine controls. Came across, Scott Sherwin asked me for, where do you find in OSHA that you have to design safety circuits in a particular way? And it turns out it's not in OSHA. OSHA incorporates many standards by reference.
Okay.
But it's not in the ones they reference. It's in the ones that those reference.
Cool.
So it's like, oh my. So digging out just where it is and why this is a good idea, not just because of regulations. The safety circuits, e-stop buttons, those sort of things have to be designed to be fail-safe.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, all right. Who wants to get those books? Get a book of those NFPA?
I don't know that those would read well on Audible, if I was guessing.
Probably not. They don't read well in front of you.
You can do a PowerPoint presentation for us, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
So, anyways, I guess that's my most recent reading stuff. It's like, yeah.
Sweet.
Unless you want to read a pending bill in front of the legislature, I can. No,
we're good there. Sweet. All right, Miss Koki, what you got cooking, girl? Tell us what it's looking like in your world.
I've always lived by Poor by Robert Kiyosaki, and the books that followed. Major impact. It's all about managing money from as a young age, So in that being said, I own a house. I have 4 bedrooms, and I rent out 2 of them frequently to make the house an asset instead of a liability.
Nice.
So those are, basic lessons, assets, liability. The other one that I almost live by is the compound effect by Hardy. And that is something done regularly on a consistent basis brings major results. It's almost like the penny doubling every day.
Right.
And I've, when I'm in a slump and go, oh my God, I'm sick and tired of XYZ, I go back to keep doing it because consistent effort will pay off. And it always does, but you don't always like to do it.
Right. Exactly. It's like
I'm now reading this one, Close the Loop by Ragbir Segal. He's from Atlanta. He was from India and has a tremendous past in Atlanta, but also some of his advisors were advisors to Gandhi and Martin Luther King. And Andrew Young, he's buddies with Andrew Young. I mean, it's amazing to read about that. And then the next one.
Oh, we lost you. Are you there? The next one is, we lost her. Roger, you're there. Brian, I think we just lost Cookie. Is the only one we lost. Cookie, are you there? I bet she'll circle back around, and we'll bring her back on when she. Oh, are you there? All right, Sean, you're up. Tag, you're it.
So my probably one of my favorite authors is Ron Chernow.
Okay.
If you're not familiar with him, everyone's probably familiar with Hamilton, the play. It's one of my favorite that he wrote is the Hamilton book.
Okay.
The most recent one I read was Grant, which was interesting because they used that, I think, for the History Channel's special on Grant that Leonardo DiCaprio did. So I just watched that. Love all those. They're all like 800-page books. Titan, about Rockefeller. There's one on George Washington. All, to me, really, really good books. I'm kind of a history geek to a degree. What I'm reading right now, although it hasn't gone as fast, is Alexander the Great. It's by another really good author, Anthony Everett. You may be familiar with a show that was based on one of his books. The other book of his that I read was called Augustus, and it's Rome.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what kicked off all the HBO shows. So really, really good book so far. I haven't started reading this one yet, but I picked this one up recently, The Space Barons. And it was really because of the launch.
Yeah.
So it kind of caught my attention. Looks pretty good. So I kind of tend to read either history books, kind of biographies and history books,
right,
or something when Carter was roughly, I guess maybe it was when my wife was pregnant. I picked up a Star Wars book. Next thing I know, I've read 30 in the last, I want to say, year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
They kind of get addicting when you're very cerebral, like dealing with banking, dealing with things that eventually you just don't want to think.
Right.
And it's
overgum for the brain, right?
Yeah. And I learned this actually at UCLA, where I went to UCLA, my history professor. It was like watching a movie when I listened to their lectures. So history books are kind of like, for me, watching a movie.
Yeah.
Star Wars, apparently it's the same thing. And as much as I've loved the movies, I was never I'm not a sci-fi, I hate to say geek. But I actually really found those to be addicting to the point where I've read like 30 of them.
Right. Have you seen the Men Who Made America, the series?
Yes.
Dude, I forget. My wife, I was like, as soon as I saw that, I made her go buy it for me for Christmas. Like the minute I was like, we're in.
Those were amazing, and then I could watch this over and over again because I just geek out on that time frame. They've come up with a couple of other ones kind of in the same vein. The Cars That Made America.
Cars, yep.
And then the food. I haven't seen the full series of those. There's also like the Wilderness or the Frontier.
I hadn't seen that one yet.
And that's kind of got like I want to say like Andrew Jackson. It's got why am I forgetting their names? They got the water passageway to the west. Lewis and Clark.
Yep.
So people like that. It was. I just love that.
Right.
Kind of stuff. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think some of us are jonesing for something on TV that's not dealing with some of the stuff that's out there, right? For me, I'm watching, bladesmiths and my son's been watching cooking shows. I'm like, I'm on a diet. You ass, don't do that. That's not fun in my house. When it's just does not work. So we're watching, whatever outside of that. I've been watching a bunch of the Impractical Jokers. I don't know if you guys watch that, but that's always, again, more bubblegum for the brain. Well, that's cool, Sean.
I might be late to the game on this show. I think it's on either History or one of those Discovery or something. It's Alone.
Oh yeah.
And this one's $1 million challenge. You got to last 100 days. So I saw the first episode of that out. That was pretty good.
Well, I may have to check that one out too.
Yeah, it's either that or I watch The Office. And those just
Right.
are pretty timeless.
Yeah, no doubt.
If you like the history novels, are you familiar with the Horatio Hornblower series?
No, but the name sounds familiar.
C.S. Forster?
Okay, yeah.
It's a British naval officer in the Napoleonic era. And there's a whole series of them.
And Koki, we missed you. You dropped out when you were bringing up your next book. What was it that we missed? You teased us, and then you just turned the freaking TV off. What's up with that? Oh, audio. Go once.
Hey,
All right.
you dropped me off.
Yeah.
No, you guys all froze. It's called Emotionally Healthy Spirituality.
Sweet. Huh.
And it's basically if you want to be Christian or live according to the Christianity, you need to be open to receive those messages.
Very cool. And who's the author on that?
Peter Scazzero, Scazzero, Peter.
Okay. Very cool. I have to check that out. Sweet.
I'm always reading. I love reading.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Thank you, Koki. Brian, tell us what you got cooking, man. What's in your library? Looks like you got a pretty healthy one back there.
Excited. Yeah, I'm really excited about this book. I just put it into the chat column. It's David McCullough. We all know David. He's that crazy, not crazy at all. He's very studious, but he's been around for a long, long time. He's got a couple Pulitzer Prizes for books on Truman and John Adams, but he put together this thing called The Greater Journey, Americans in Paris, from 1830 to 1900, and it's before the steamships. It's before Samuel Morse laid the telegraph wires. The first doctors, the first medical people, and scientists and artists went over to Paris, and really, I mean, it's so exciting because they're all new. There's only 400 or 500 of them in Paris, and it goes from the 1830s when Samuel Morse was one of the greatest painters around, and he gave that up to do something which was called Morse code and make the telegraph, and they underline, and also lay the cable to Europe, and it goes through the Franco-Prussian War, which I have never read the details of the Franco-Prussian War of 1870, when the Prussians went in and, France has that wall around it, or it used to have a serious wall around it. And the Prussians came right up to, they were arguing about Alsace and, land, obviously, but they came right up to Paris and wouldn't let anybody out. And Paris had enough strength not to let them in. So they just starved them out for, 2.5 months. Until they gave up. I didn't know much of the details, but all these Americans were over there. Mary Cassatt, the painter, and like I said, Samuel Morse. So the link's it's in the chat. It's just so well written by David McCullough.
I love it.
And if you like Paris, you'll get it.
All right, Carter's here. Hey, Carter. Hey, Carter.
Hey, hi.
Hey, Carter. You're a Zoom boy, right? Yay. I love it. Big fans in the house.
And I'll tell you, David McCullough is one of my favorite authors too.
Yeah, he does his books are, he really has that voice. And we know him also, most of us will know him from Ken Burns. Ken Burns uses him on his PBS specials.
Yeah.
As the voice of history.
Cool. Hey guys, I'm gonna share something with you real quick. I think you might find it interesting, or I hope you do. Anyway, this is new tools that we have available. This is, of course, the GMA homepage. But if you go under the resources tab here, there is a GMA tools and reading list. And so a lot of people, when we go on these tours, they ask us, where do we get our headsets and our microphones and all that stuff. So these are the recommended reading list. Never Fly Solo by Waldo Waldman, our keynote speaker for the summit. This is Profit First. I have not added Fix This Next because it just came out like 2 weeks ago. So, but Profit First and Clockworks. And then these are some of the other books that I really recommend that have been instrumental for me. And if you click on these, I will just tell you up front, this is an Amazon affiliate page. So, you know, if you spend $1 million, I might get 7 cents, but that's kind of how that works. But these are the recommended books that we have. We're going to be adding to this. So if you got things that you want to add, you really think that'd be beneficial, that have been beneficial to you, you know, we'll try to add those. And again, when we'll go do these plant tours, a lot of folks say, well, I love the headsets. I can't find anything like that. This links them right to the page for the headsets and the microphones. This is a camera that I happen to use. I did buy a drone last year because we needed one for the company, right? That's what I told the accountant anyway. But all of those are right there. And while we're here, there is another tool that you might find interesting if you go to the Buy from Georgia. This is a listing of products that are manufactured in the state of Georgia. And I'd encourage you to take a look if you just click on the little Shop Now button. This gives you a list of a variety of different things, and you might find it very interesting to find as many products as are manufactured here in Georgia. There's like 6 billion products on Amazon. And what this is this is just a filtered down group of the companies that I happen to know manufacture their products in the state of Georgia. So every time you're purchasing something through here, you know for a fact that you're helping support Georgia jobs, right? So again, it's there's some really hidden gems in this, and I think you'll get in there and play around with it just a little bit. And if you have not done so, this is my shameless plug for the summit, the Georgia Manufacturing Summit, coming up September 15th. Now is the time to get a table if you want to, bring, this is one of those things you want to arrive, but don't come alone, bring your friends with you. You can pick up a half table, full. Actually, we don't do half tables this year. It's either a full table or individual seat. And then, we do have a little bit of exhibit space left, but it's filling up pretty quickly. These are who's currently booked in for some of the tours. We did add this little video piece. I'm kind of tickled with this. I wish he was online. He was actually scheduled to be online today.
Hey everybody, this is Ryan at Clear Choice Telephones. I want to drop you guys a quick line to invite you to our booth at the Georgia Manufacturing Summit on September 15th. We're going to be in booth number 6, but all the top industry professionals that I know are going to be in attendance to help kick off manufacturing not only in the state of Georgia, but all across the Southeast. There are going to be some amazing keynote speakers at this event, as well as the educational breakouts. They're going to be awesome. If you comment below, I'll make sure to have a special gift for you waiting at our booth. You can register now at www.georgiamanufacturingsummit.com, and then make sure to leave your comment below, and I'll have a gift waiting for you at our booth. I look forward to seeing you guys at booth 6 on September 15th. We want to come out.
That's the deal. So each of those that have a little play video, each of them had the opportunity to tell their story on the front end, and they've done a really fantastic job. So we're going to be adding a bunch more of that as we go. All right, so I'm gonna stop here. But yeah, that's the new piece that we just added for the summit. We're trying to help these folks that are stepping in really fill in the space. I mean, we're here we had a fantastic 2 weeks before I left on vacation. We had like 7 or 8 exhibitors sign up just right out of the chute. So people are coming back, man. They're looking for ways that they can market their business because it's, like Andrea said, a lot of the trade shows are gone. And IMTS, which is one of the largest shows, the International Manufacturing Technology Show in Chicago, they had 2,500 exhibitors booked and almost 150,000 attendees scheduled for September 14th through the 19th in Chicago. This is a Mac Daddy show for manufacturing technology, and they canceled it. The governor and the mayor both said they were going to wait until there was a vaccine and or a effective treatment for COVID before they allow any trade shows in Chicago. So people are hunting places to go. We pitched it out there. We're actually going to do a marketing campaign for those that are not going to IMTS now and inviting them to come down to the GMA Summit. I mean, the Georgia Manufacturing Summit. So we do have some booth space available, but not a ton of it. So if you guys are interested or know people that are, now's the time to pass it around with air. So that's my commercial for the day. I appreciate y'all rolling through that, but that way I can write off this bottle of water for supplies for the call.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Well, I want to open it up. Anybody else got any specific things they want to share? Questions, thoughts, favorite part? Real quick, Cookie, what's your favorite part about the day so far?
My dogs were barking. They're not as cute as Carter is. No, it's good to, I really haven't seen Andrea a lot in the call, so it's good to see her again. See Sean, new person, great. So Sean and Carter, so great, thank you.
Perfect, good stuff. All right, Mr. Sean, what's your favorite part about the call or the day so far?
The day, finally having a video under my belt.
You guys will be seeing that very soon. We're going to be pushing that out around quite a bit. So we got some cool stuff coming down the pipe, and we'll tell you lots more about that very soon. And Michelle, you did a fantastic job.
Thanks.
Well done. Well done. All right, Sean, what's your favorite part about the call or the day?
Partly just getting to know everybody. Always love meeting some new folks, learning about what everyone does. Always love hearing some good recommendations on books, so appreciate that, and appreciate everyone being welcoming to my son.
How can we not? That's cool. Awesome. Love it. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
All right, Roger.
Well, just a good break from the routine I was trying to have the day.
Yep.
Get into a machine manual. It's like, oh boy. Yeah, more recreational reading.
There you go.
Thank you for the effort on the writing this week.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate the plug for sure. Hopefully that hit the mark for him.
Well, the editor had to be home today with a sick child, but she did receive it. It's like,
Sweet.
okay. I found something on bubblegum for the mind category.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if for those who are,
Oh, we lost your audio.
okay. Bubblegum for the mind, a website with map quizzes. So if identify the different states. Where's Montana? Where's Colorado?
Right.
You want to measure a challenge? How about South American countries or European countries? Or a bigger challenge, African cities.
Interesting. That would be completely impossible for me. But yeah.
So there's
Nice.
the link to it.
Okay.
Bubblegum for the mind, and maybe sharpen. Oh, if you went to British counties even.
Okay. Very cool. Love it. We'll have to give that a shot. All right. Miss Andrea, tell us, favorite part of the day.
Like most people have said, just taking a break from making calls and doing stuff and just hearing what everybody else is doing. Making a new book list for future reading, and meeting Sean, and we've already booked a phone call. So
Sweet.
yeah.
Love it. Love it. Great job. Well, thank you for being online. Let's keep your eyes and ears open and do what needs to make sense. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Brian, what's your favorite part about the day or the call? All of the above.
I'm intrigued by Koki's wardrobe change.
Nice.
You know,
What?
Koki had a wardrobe change halfway through the Zoom call.
No, I didn't.
Oh, I saw.
I ran to get my book.
Oh, what's your shirt say? What's your shirt say? There it is.
Give, serve, love.
Oh, I love it. That's what I
Nice.
saw. There's what I saw.
A wardrobe change.
Yeah. Well, halfway through, we got to change our wardrobes.
Yeah.
Just like Carter changes his wardrobe a couple times an hour.
Right.
I know, yeah.
Right.
So I'll see you guys all next time.
Yeah, that sounds great, Brian. Appreciate that. And my favorite part was Sean bringing Carter on the line with us. Thank you for bringing Carter. Looks like he's focused now, boy. Hey, Carter. Oh, a drum. Nice. I love it. Well, with that, guys, it has been a fantastic day. We will catch you guys on Monday. We've got some special guests that should be joining us on the call, so make sure you register for the Monday call. And, yep, Monday's what we got lined up at 10 o'clock. And if there's anything that we can be doing a service for you, please let us know. Check out those websites and check out those books. Hopefully those will be beneficial to you. And with that said, been another great day at GMA. We'll see you guys next event. See you guys.
Yes.